Okay, so we are going straight in. So lower body session. First movement up is squats. Working for 8 reps here. You're going to see my first and last set. This is feeling really good. I'm really starting to like the high bar squat. Obviously, after running lots of powerlifting blocks for my powerlifting comp, obviously getting back into the high bar squat, it's feeling different. But I know my quads are something that I need a greater emphasis on. I'm very hamstring and glute dominant. Probably why I've got a beast of a deadlift, but my squats always been kind of well out the power on that. So 140 kilos. I went 4 sets of 8 on this, so decent amount of volume. That's one thing with this session. My last couple of weeks of training, I've been a little more kind of on the intensity. Probably only performing 2 sets, 3 on some of the big barbell compounds, but typically just 2 sets, literally a top set and then a back off set. I wasn't feeling that today at all. I was feeling a bit more volume, and therefore a lot of what I'd done was all kind of 3 to 4 sets. My first movement was a 4, and everything else that comes, I think I hit 3 sets on. Really boring. Really boring. Like no loads of variation or fancy stuff, and everything was just straight sets. I think later on some of the accessory movements like leg curls and I think seated calf raise, I had to drop the load just to stay within a rep range. So high bar squats is my second set. It's not my second set, it's my 4th set. I think just feeling good, moving 140. Accumulated a hell of a load of volume. I think it's like 4,000 kilos worth of volume just on the squat itself, not including the leg presses and leg extensions that will come later. This is my second set on deadlifts. First one, the battery ran out. Technical problems, so I didn't get anything of that. I have gone over to pulling a bit of a hybrid sumo. I'm not like all the way out if I was to go full powerlifting sumo. Obviously I'm typically a conventional puller, but I've had such a connection with that conventional lift. I put so much pressure on myself, so that is why I've gone for the sumo and why I've removed the belt, because then I don't just sit there and go, I'm not always weighing up, should I be pulling 240 for 4 and how close is that to my 1 rep max. I have no emotional attachment to this lift anymore, and I think it's seriously paid off, because it means I can actually accumulate so much volume. So here I am at 180. When it comes to a conventional, I don't like going under 200. I have that kind of attachment to that load. It has to be 200 all the time, and it's not good, it's not progressive, it's too much ego. And this helps me kind of leave the ego at the door. So when it comes to kind of getting volume, it is something to build, because if I know I can build this along with my stiff leg deadlift, I know that my conventional is going to go up once I get back to practicing it and kind of nailing that skill. Depending on what my next venture kind of comes around, whether I decide this is the platform or whether I decide it's the stage. But at the moment, my focus is very general hypertrophy. It will benefit both. And also, I'm lifting with straps. Just because I find mentally, when it comes to grip, then my grip is good. I find that mentally it's more taxing to know I've got to hold on to something, especially for higher rep work. If it was in like 4s, 3s, I wouldn't be using straps. I'd just be chalking up and pulling like a proper person. Banding up the leg press, because, well, do you even leg press if you don't band it nowadays? We just can't even use a machine if you don't strap some bands to it. To be honest, it actually makes the movement feel really good. It just gives that bit of added overload at the top. I'm not a big fan of the leg press. I think I want the range of movement like I have with a squat, and you just can't get it. I think the mechanics of my hips just kind of limits my range of movement. And if I go as deep as what I would like to go, what I kind of feel I should, kind of associating it with a squat, I feel my lower back then lift, and therefore it's just going to risk injury, and it's not beneficial. One thing I do like the leg press for though is calf raises. So part of the poverty calf crew, I think they've got better, but they can improve. They can definitely improve. But I do like the feel of a leg press calf raise. Okay, leg curl. I went in at this a little bit heavy. I counted it as 9 reps. I think you will see 10, but the 10th one was shit. There's no connection. Whilst these initially felt good, just a little bit heavier. Too heavy for what I wanted. I wanted these to be in the 10 to 15 rep range. So 10th rep was just not good enough. I know I wouldn't have matched it, so I dropped down to 40 kilos and absolutely nailed the contraction with the hamstring. Obviously you've got to think of squats, deadlifts, leg press. They've had some work, but they're already in a pre-fatigue state, so I'm not going to be getting that performance of what I would do on sessions where I wouldn't have had as many big compounds. Going on to the seated calf raise, lighting's awful, I do apologise. It kind of hides my poverty calves. You can't tell if they're good or awful because they're in the shadows. Yet again, slightly too heavy. I just didn't feel like I was getting that nice deep stretch at the bottom, and yeah, it wasn't feeling good. So I pulled 5 kilos off that and absolutely nailed the execution. I think with the calf, you see so many people just bounce their way through a movement, which means you're going to use a load of load, but I'm not sure how much of your calf is working. So it comes down, I do like to get a deep stretch at the bottom, and then I like to be able to drive as high onto my toe as possible. Leg extensions. So targeting 10 to 15 reps. On these, I think it's 13 reps. Finishing off from all the other dominant movements on the leg extension. And then finishing off completely with the one thing that I'm not a massive advocate of ab or core training. I think if you've got the big compounds in there and you can execute them well, then I don't think they have a massive place, but I do try and get some in every now and again. So 3 sets, 10 to 15 reps. Probably every lower session I miss them out just because of time, or I don't really enjoy this movement, but I do feel it come the following days, so therefore it's potentially a weakness, and if it's a weak link, then if I make it stronger, it's going to make my big compounds stronger still. So I am trying to keep a little bit of ab work in there, but it's very much on the sidelines. Okay, thank you very much everybody, thank you for watching. Any questions, stick them down in the comments. Likes are always appreciated, and if you want to see more stuff, hit subscribe.